Hello, friends. We're finally talking all things September. I say finally, and it's October 4th, but I feel like so much has happened in the month of September. And again, all the things that happened at the beginning of the month feel like they were like 2 months ago. So time is still flying by. But here we go. As usual, we have memories and experiences, we have books, we have purchases, we have a deck talk, and then we're going to talk about the moon tray. And I think that's it. I don't think I'm missing anything. I do this every month. You'd think I'd have these memorized by now. But they'll all be in the chapters below if there's anything you want to skip or anything you want to jump to, anything you're super excited about. So let's go. Memories and experiences. So I started trail running again in August. I love trail running. I've been doing it for about 4 years now. And I took some time off this summer because it was really hot. So when August hit, the running group kind of got started back up again, and then an official running group got started up for a race that's October 18th, which I have signed up for. I'll talk about that in October. So there's a training group for this race. So we started in early September. Now, why am I talking about this? Well, as with trail running, it's not a matter of if you're going to fall, it's a matter of when and how many times. So up until September, I'd only fallen one time, and it was a couple years ago. So I should be grateful. I'm overdue for a fall. I was overdue for a fall. Let's hope there's not another one anytime soon. But I did fall again in September. And I'm going to tell this story. It's going to be long, but it's a story that I've told 100 times, and I just think it's hilarious. So yeah, I finally fell, and it's a fear that I have going into almost every trail run. And for some reason, the two runs prior to this particular run, I knew it was coming. I just knew it was going to happen. And fall trail running is even worse because there's leaves covering the trail, so you can't see the rocks, the stumps, the roots, whatever's going to take you out. You can't see them. So I try to run with like high knees in the fall, but you forget, whatever. So this particular run group that I'm running with, the race that I'm doing is only 7 kilometers, but the other levels, it goes up to 21, I think, 21 kilometers. So for some reason, the group of runners that have signed up for this training session are all like marathon runners. And for the first time ever, I have found myself at the back of the running pack, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with being at the back. It's just you have to pay attention to where you're going when you're at the back. A lot of times you'll have a pacer with you, but sometimes those pacers can't make it to every run, whatever. So I, for the first time, have found myself alone on some of these tail ends of these runs. And I don't pay attention to the trail, to the map, to where we say we're going. So I've really kind of had to focus on bettering my knowledge of the trails and actually paying attention at the beginning when they're pointing to the map and showing everybody where we're going. So that's been different, and it's something I should do anyway, so now I'm just forced to do it. So this particular run, I was at the back, and I was with this guy. His name is Mike. He's normally at the front, but he has an injury. So him and I have kind of been running together. I guess I'm more of his speed with his injury. But the problem with this Mike guy is he will take off. Every once in a while, he'll take off and go ahead, but he also doesn't pay attention to where we're supposed to go on the trails. So he'll get to a fork in the road and wait for me and figure out where we're supposed to go, because I do carry my phone with me. I don't have it in my hands, but it's in my bag. It's recording my run, first of all, but also I need to have it in case of an emergency or in case I get lost, whatever. So what had happened was one of the marathon runners was voluntold to come back and check on the people at the back. So this marathon runner comes back, he comes up to us and he's like, "How you guys doing? You good?" We're like, "Yeah, we're fine." On this particular day, there was a couple people behind me. The one back pacer was behind me, and a woman had fallen earlier that day, less than half a kilometer into our run. So I think they were kind of walking. I think she stubbed her toe pretty hard. So she was walking. So I was like, "Yeah, there's two more back there. You might want to check on them." So I didn't really pay attention to this guy when he ran by the first time. But when he came back, I happened to be alone because Mike had taken off. And I think this man felt obligated to run with me. I mean, we do kind of have a rule where no one's supposed to run by themselves. So I get it. But I also kind of felt like I was holding him back because I know he's one of the marathon runners. And I kept saying, like, you can go ahead, it's okay. And he's like, no, I'm having a great time. So we were just kind of talking about our lives, and I'd never seen this guy before, and how long you've been in the running group, because I've never seen you, and I've been in it for like 4 years. So anyway, I kind of like at one point looked over, and you have a side profile, so it's kind of hard to tell, but I realized I think he might be good looking, and he's really tall. I think he's good looking. So we're running and talking, and the trail kind of squeezed, so it was a little bit thinner. So he always let me go first when this happened, which I hate. I hate going first, even if I'm like on a date with someone and they hold the door open for me. And like, I don't like someone being behind me. It's a weird thing. I don't like it. But anyway, so he's behind me, and we were still talking, and my toe caught a root, and it was on a downhill. And what's absolutely fascinating to me is the amount of thoughts you can have go through your head in a fraction of a second. And that's exactly what happened here. So I hit my toe, and immediately I'm off kilter. And in that fraction of a second, I'm like, can I recover? Nope, you are not recovering from this. So then it's plan B. This particular time I had my phone in my hand because we were alone. So I was running with my phone in my hand, which I never do, but because I wasn't sure of where I was going, that was the one thing that was on my mind. I have to protect my phone. So the fall itself was very graceful. I tucked and rolled and popped back up, and just, again, that fraction of a second, I was like, maybe I should stop to kind of like assess and make sure I didn't hurt myself, because you really shouldn't pop back up in case you do have an injury that you don't feel right away. But in that fraction of a second, I kind of did a quick little assessment. I'm like, no, I'm good, keep running. Also, I was wearing a skirt. I was wearing one of those Lululemon skirts that have like the little tiny shorts underneath. So, I mean, it's not like he had full view of my underwear or anything, but that just adds to the story. So I get up and I just kept running, and this guy was like, oh my gosh, we didn't even break stride. He's looking at his watch to check, and he's like, not only that, but you didn't even break conversation. So of all ways to fall and all things to happen, I guess it was the best possible outcome. And then later on, he was like, do you practice martial arts? So I was kind of like, I mean, I did eat shit, but in the best possible way. So it happened, and I got it over with. And who's to say it might not happen tomorrow? I'm supposed to go for a run tomorrow. Like it probably will happen again. Again, it's just a matter of when, not if. So I got it out of the way. Like I said, I was overdue, but it was just one of those moments. And this tall dreamboat, we were running for a few more minutes. He's like, I'm so sorry, we just have to stop for a second. I'm like, okay. And he starts like picking leaves off my back. He's like, these are really bothering me. He's picking the leaves off my back. So that happened. That was a memory and experience for September, but it's okay. Like I said, got it over and done with. I executed it perfectly. So there's that. I mean, silver lining, right? But that's trail running, friends. That's what happens when you trail run. So done and done. The other thing I did in September was the Titanic. Is it called the immersive experience? The Titanic exhibit, anyway. I did this with my mom. I bought us tickets, and I got us the VR experience as well. I added that onto it. If this comes to your city, I highly recommend doing it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. They have real artifacts from the Titanic, and what's even crazier is that these exhibits are all kind of taking place at the same time in a bunch of other cities. I think there's one in Berlin right now, I'm not sure, but they split up the artifacts between these exhibits, so there is a lot of actual artifacts that get split up between these exhibits, and it's really interesting to see these actual exhibits from the Titanic. And they make replicas of the room. I think the room, well, they do a replica of like each level, so a first class, a third class, and a lower class version of the rooms. They do replicas of the hallway. They do a replica of the grand staircase, which was one of my favorite parts, probably. It was very, very impressive. And it's fantastic. I highly recommend it. They have a wall, I'll see if I can input a video, where it shows the number of survivors and the number of people lost from each class, and to see how those numbers change per class is crazy. The amount of names in the third class is quite sad. But yeah, it was really cool. The VR experience was hilarious. My mom had never done it before. I stepped on a small child. It was a great month for me, apparently. There was too many people, I felt, in the VR experience. You could see their heads, but you couldn't see their bodies, which is how I ended up stepping on the child. I stepped on like his ankle or his foot or something because he looked further away. But I don't really understand the VR experience. Like at one point you shrink down really, really tiny on the grand staircase, and it was kind of like an Alice in Wonderland thing. I don't understand what the message there was or the purpose, but it was still really cool, really interesting. It was really fun to experience that with my mom, her very first VR goggle experience. So that was kind of fun. But definitely recommend. It was really cool, really neat to see. Like I said, if it comes to your city, definitely check it out. The other thing that happened in September, now it just happened September 29th, so I've only been figuring this out for the last few days. I got a new job. I wasn't going to talk about it until October, until I understood the new job more, but it is already affecting my personal life, so I figured I would talk about it. I was lucky enough to get to go train with this unit for 3 weeks, half a day, 1 day a week for 3 weeks before I went to work in the position, which was really helpful, but not helpful enough. This position is very different from what I normally do every day. I will say it's only a 9-month contract. It's called a developmental. So I get to go and I get to do the job, and if I like it, I can apply for it. If I don't like it, I get to go back to my home base. My home base is I've been in the position for almost 11 years at my home base. I know the job like the back of my hand. And I get to listen to audiobooks. Because I know the job so well, I get to listen to audiobooks while I work, which is probably my favorite part of the job. Those days are done. I will not be able to listen to audiobooks in my new position, which is a real bummer. So my book reading is going to go down. I'm currently in a goal to read for 365 days straight. I'm almost there. I'm in like 320 something, but I am finding just in the week that I've been in this position, and it was only 3 days that I was in the position because we had a holiday and I had Friday off. So it's only been 3 days. And my personal life, like I'm staying late every night without getting paid. I'm staying late, and I am tanked, like mentally exhausted by the end of the day, to the point where I've almost forgot to read that day, and I almost forgot to do one of my pulls from my 47 decks in 47 days thing that I'm doing. So I knew it was going to be rough for the first little bit. I knew this was going to be a thing. I knew I was going to struggle. I knew it was going to be a massive learning curve. Every job that I've had prior to this has been a frontline position. This is behind the scenes. It's not frontline. It's full of meetings. My second day, I had 5 meetings in one day, which really affected my training because I was in meetings all day and couldn't train. I'm the head of a couple projects, which I've never been the head of a project before. And it's a big girl job. Like they kind of just send you off on your own to do these projects with very little guidance. So it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough. I can do it. I can do hard things. It's a little more money, not much, but it's a better union. So there's that. And again, it's only 9 months. So if I don't like it, I can go back to my home base and listening to audiobooks. My home base is also there's a lot of drama going on in my home base, not with staff members, but just with the work that we do. It's pretty hectic right now. So I was looking forward to having a break from that and kind of stepping away from that a little bit. But now I'm stepped into something crazier, it would seem. So that's a huge thing that's going on in my life. I have not consumed very much TarotTube at all. There's been days where I haven't even opened YouTube. So I do miss the content. I do miss filming because I haven't filmed anything. I've been keeping up with my crystal shorts that I've been posting, but that's only because they're in the drafts folder. They're already filmed. They're done. I just have to hit post. So I think I have like maybe a handful left, maybe 3 or 4, and then those will probably stop as well because I don't have time and my weekends are full. Like it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So it's gonna be weird times for the next, I'd say, like 2-3 months until I really get a groove going. It is what it is. I mean, I wanted to get out of my comfort zone and I'm out. I am very far out of my comfort zone. So we'll see how it goes. Books. I read 7. Well, I listened to most of them. So September I did, before I started the job, I was like flying through books. Most of them were Audible and a couple of them were really short, so that really helped. So the first one, I talked about this series last month. It's the Torrent Witches series. These are, if you have Audible Premium, the whole box set is free right now, which is why I downloaded it. So I did the second one, which was Treasure Witch. I listened to it, obviously Audible. It's okay. It's not a literary masterpiece. It is what it is. She's a witch. I kind of thought it would give me more fall feels than it did. It's fine. It is what it is. It's something kind of monotonous to listen to while I was working. Again, not anymore. The other book I read, this was on Kindle, because if you have a Kindle Unlimited subscription, this is also free. So Spark of the Everflame by Penn Cole. Yes, Penn Cole. This is a really, I was addicted to this. I inhaled this book. And subsequently, the second one, Glow of the Everflame, also read this one and inhaled it, also free on Kindle Unlimited right now. This was kind of like the spark I needed from a book. I will say I'm on the third one now and it's over 1,000 pages, so that kind of sucks. And it's taking me a lot longer to finish it because of my current situation. But that's where we're at. Then I listened to She Didn't See It Coming. This was a TikTok Made Me Do It by Shari Lapina. I'm trying to remember what happens in this book, and I cannot. I do remember thinking I wasn't surprised by the whole whodunit thing with a twist. I think that kind of happens to me often, where I figure out a piece of it, but not the entire thing. Spark of the Everflame, by the way, is just a fantasy. Like, there's magic and a powerful main female character. Yes. Had to read the Coles notes. Someone goes missing. A wife and mother goes missing in her condo building, and it's a whole whodunit thing. Again, like I said, I pieced it together-ish. Didn't love it, didn't hate it. It is what it is. The book club book, this was my pick. Frozen River by Ariel Lahan. So this was really interesting. This was my pick because it talks about a real midwife named Martha Ballard who lived in the 1700s. The book is in I think it's like 1789. It's based off of her real life journals with some creative liberties, some twists. I will recommend reading the author's note at the end of this one. I listened to this one on Audible, but there is an author's note where the author talks about the pieces that were completely true and the pieces that were embellished and the pieces that were completely fake. The pieces that were completely fake, there's not that many of them. So I was pleased to hear that. She gives excerpts from her actual diary. This woman wrote a diary every single day, and she gives actual excerpts, which are like shorthand. It's really interesting how Martha Ballard wrote. And it talks about her midwife experiences. There's also a bit of a whodunit in there. I wasn't really focused on the whodunit of it. I feel like there was a lot of things going on at once. There's a lot of storylines going on at once. There's also like a rape trial, which is real. There's a lot going on. So I realized that it's true, and these things were going on except for the murder, but that's the whodunit part, is a murder. It happens right at the very beginning, but there was a lot happening. It was interesting, but there was a lot happening. Not my favorite. So the next one is on Audible as well, and it's only available on Audible. And if you have Audible Premium subscription, whatever it's called, it's free right now. It's called The Game of Nines by James Patterson, read by Shailene Woodley. This was interesting. It was one of the short ones. again, a whodunit kind of thing. I sort of pieced it together as well. I mean, it wasn't fantastic. It wasn't the worst thing I've listened to, but also not fantastic. And the last one, also free on Audible right now, Audible Premium. The reason I wanted to listen to this book, I've never read it before, but the reason I wanted to listen to it is because it's a full cast with Andrew Garfield, Cynthia Erivo, Andrew Scott, and Tom Hardy. So I was like, this is super interesting sounding. 1984 by George Orwell. Given what's going on in the world today, it's terrifying. This book terrified me. I knew it was a futuristic type novel, but it was just a little bit alarming seeing as what's happening in our current environment. Very, very strange. I would recommend, I was going to say I would recommend the full cast audio. There's also like sound effects, and there's a baby spicy scene that has sound effects, which was weird. So sometimes listening to it, it was a little bit distracting and a little bit odd, but I would recommend it. I am planning on listening to the full cast audio Harry Potter when it comes out in November. I don't know if I'm going to like it or not, based on the 1984 that I listened to. But we'll see. I guess we'll see. Purchases. We have one deck that was purchased and 2 crystal orders that came in. I will say the second crystal order that came in, when I was filming it, my mic fell on the floor and I didn't notice. So I'm going to hopefully try and do what I can in editing to make it sound better, but that's why the sound is off for the second audio part. I also got Ricky. So Ricky's a Jellycat and I love him. You can get a Christmas Ricky. You can get one with earmuffs or headphones on, whatever they are. There's a bunch of little Rickies and I love him. So Ricky gets added to the Bed Friends and we love him. So I'm going to show the tarot deck and then the 2 crystal videos and then I'll be back. October's deck purchase, but I just thought, since I talked about my wipeout with trail running, I thought I would show you the damage because we're mid-September right now, and if I waited to film this, you wouldn't see it. So kind of hard to tell, but we've got some bruising going on here. We have this mystery line on my finger, and oddly enough, this is the hand that hurt the most. Like, it was kind of like burning. There's no scratches, no broken skin, but the only mark is that little red dot. And this hand didn't hurt at all, and it has a lot of bruising. And like I said, that's like a blood blister. I don't know how that happened, but those are my hand injuries from my fall. So I just thought I would point them out while I still had them visible. Other than that, I have a bruise on my hip, and that's really much it. So the deck, why we're here. I think it's the Tarot of Strange Branches. This is a French deck, obviously. This was a Thea made me do it. I also just want to appreciate the detail of the wood, like it's a raised marking on the sides of the box. So cute. Yes, so Thea made me do this one. And I have to say, I've honestly never felt quite a vibe from a deck like I have with this one. I love the vibes. So vibes is wrong. The energy. I love the energy that I feel from this deck. But I thought I would also take this time to show you how I handle the guidebook and the cards if they come up and I'm like, what does this say? So we have Google Translate I have it on my phone, but I put it on my iPad so that you can see how it works. So in this tarot, you will find answers to your questions, but also forests, oceans, paths, stars. So that's what that says. And there was something else. The back of the book, this is smaller text, so we might Relax and let your roots grow deep as your heart opens to the love of the universe. Your head visits the stars and your inner fire rises higher and more joyful than ever. On the back of the book. So if I want to read the book, any part here, that's how I do it, is with the Google Translate app. It's so much easier to navigate on the phone than it is on the iPad, but just thought I would demonstrate that. It's not that bad. They're not hard to figure out, and you'll see. They come with a bag, which I love. I'm running short on tarot bags, and this tarot deck is thick. In the box, it was double layered, double stacked with the book on top. So you can't put the book and the deck of cards back in the box unless you double stack them, which would mean keeping them out of the bag. So we're keeping her in the bag. And it does come with some extra cards. So as above and so below are the extra cards that I haven't shuffled in. I don't know if I will. Don't know how I feel about that. So, I mean, I like the cards. I don't know about extra cards getting shuffled into a tarot deck. Here we have the backs. I was originally going to try and edge these in a taupe to match the backs, but I discovered that the backs actually, when you put them up against a brown, they take on the brown. So I think I'm going to go for a brown. I didn't want to do a taupe because branches and taupe, I mean, maybe, yeah, sure, you could stretch it, but I don't know. I think I'm going to try a brown. It has to be the perfect brown, which I don't think I have. So yeah, so I have not worked with this deck yet because I'm doing my 47 decks in 47 days. This now is 48 decks in 48 days. And I haven't had a chance to work with it. So I'm chomping at the bit. That's very unlike me. Usually when I get a new deck, the first thing I do is some form of draw, whether it's a you, me, how we work together, how we're going to work together kind of situation, something. I never don't use decks, and I never keep them in their packaging for very long before I'm busting them out. So it's been hard for me to not use this deck. I cannot wait to use it, but it's because of my 47 decks, 47 days, it's kind of got to wait for its spot. I have shuffled this so much, and that was a lot of swords. Was it swords or was it cups? Swords. So what I like about this deck, I like the kind of nymphs, fairies, whatever they are. They don't have wings, so I'm going to go with nymphs. I really like them. I like how they're depicted. They're not like perfect. They're not like cute little firefly Tinkerbell looking things. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I love them. I love trees. I love trees so much. I'm one of those people that, like, you know, the sunset people, when they see a good picture of the sunset, or you see a good moon picture, you see a image of the moon, you're like, I have to take a picture of that. I have to take a picture of that sunset. I have to take a picture of that moon, which I do also do, but I also do it with trees. Oh my God, that's a really beautiful tree. I have to take a picture of that tree. And then it never looks, doesn't do it justice. The camera doesn't do any of these things justice. So I love trees. And like when Thea was showing this deck, it was just the energy that it was giving off. I was like, oh my gosh, I love this deck. So it wasn't supposed to arrive till October. It was supposed to arrive after my 47 decks in 47 days, but it did not. It was supposed to arrive like 10 days after, actually. So it's going to be worked into 47 decks in 47 days. Maybe, like I said, it's like mid-September right now. So maybe by the time the end of September hits, I would have already worked with it. We'll see. We'll see where I feel like it fits in with the rest. But love it. I'm obsessed with this deck, and the energy is just unlike any other draw towards a deck I've ever had. The only downfall, and Thea did talk about this as well, is that it's very, very thick. It is a very thick deck. Cannot get my hands around the whole thing. And mine came bowed. It was bowed this way. I'm trying to work that out. You can still kind of see it ever so slightly, I think. I'm trying to shuffle it, riffle but not bridge, to try and offset the bow. It is incredibly stiff. I can't even get that to bend. Very, very stiff. So we're just doing that part and slotting them back together. We're not doing the bridge because that's counterproductive to what we're trying to do. But I did notice, and I haven't worked with it, so I'm not sure how jumpers come out. I love my jumpers, but it shuffles in chunks. It's a very chunky shuffler. So I'm hoping that through use and over time that goes away. See, that was a multiple card. There's 2 there. Yeah. So we shall see. Like I said, I've been kind of just, in the day or so that I've had it, I've been trying to work it out, just trying to shuffle, trying to break her in. But I just love it. I love it so much, and I cannot wait to work with it. Even grabbing one card is kind of difficult. It's giving me a whole chunk as well. So it is a matte finish. It's not rose petal, but the matte finish kind of gives it a rose petal feel, I think. But we're okay. I'm okay with it for now. It does hurt my thumbs. You can see they're a little red from shuffling it. So like I said, I'm hoping that through time and working with it, it will get better. But I don't know if you've been paying attention to the titles, but they're not that difficult to figure out. The majors have the Roman numerals on them. Even these guys have the numbers on them. I mean, pentacles is easy, batons, easy. Swords, if you're looking at the photo, it's easy to figure out what the swords are. And what are we missing? Wands? Oh no, cups. Also pretty easy and self-explanatory. But yeah, this is another one added to the collection for 2025, and I honestly, I don't, as of right now, have any regrets about it. I love that it comes with a bag, so that's a bonus point for you, but the energy of it is just, I think we're going to love each other. I think we're going to work well together. If I can get it back in the bag. And I think the other thing that drew me to this deck is what Thea was talking about as she was showing it. It was something that I really was resonating with, and that drew me to the deck that much more. So thanks, Thea. I had never seen this deck before. Really good call on that one. So that is the deck that came in September. Crystals that came in September. So there are a few. Now, my favorite crystal dealer, Equilibrio Gems, had a sale. So she had a live sale that was a special sale, live sale. So a lot of these items, almost all of them in fact, were on sale. So we'll start with my free, where's the other one? Oh, it's hiding. Crystal drip baggies. So you get these free bags of crystals when you spend over a certain amount. So it's a lot of chips, as you can see, but each bag does have either tumbles or special treats. So I can see this, oh, one of the little, that's cute. Pistachio calcite. That is stunning. It has a little nib out of it, which is very on brand. We'll talk about it. So pistachio calcite matte polish. This feels amazing. I am a sucker for a tactile experience, and that matte finish is something else. So we'll put the little stowaway. And is that the... There is one more piece that's slightly bigger, a Mookaite tumble. I don't actually have a little Mookaite tumble, so that's perfect. And then the rest is just chips. The green is, there's black tourmaline in it. Oh my God, what is it called? It's the same as this, I think. Maybe it'll come to me. So that's pretty cool. So that'll go with my tumbles, and then these will go in my skull, my crystal vodka skull that I'm filling with all my crystal drip stuff. And then in this one, we have a baby sphere, carnelian with quartz. That's pretty cool. The banding around the quartz is really neat. So a mini sphere, awesome. And the other large one in here, an aventurine tumble, always handy to have. Aventurine is really good for abundance and manifesting. And then this one is quite a bit, like this one is obviously smaller because it had that big heart in there, but this one has, oh my gosh, that's a little malachite sphere. There's a couple little spheres in here. How cute. Oh my God, that is adorable. A little malachite sphere and this other little tiny one. I thought they were just tumbles. Well, that's different. I don't even know what this is. How stinking cute. This is officially the smallest sphere I have. Okay, now it's just, oh my God, and there's a tiger's eye star. This one is wicked. That's insane. These crystal drip bags are freaking awesome. Okay, now that will go in my crystal vodka. If I remember, I will take a photo and put it in so you can see what I've been doing with these guys. I think it's the best idea ever. So those are free. Well, I mean, yes, free with purchase, kind of. So sort of free, sort of not. Okay, I don't even know where to begin. We'll start with this one. On sale, this is gold mica. It has a specific purpose. It's going to go in my curio cabinet that I've kind of assigned my like weird and sparkly things. A little bit of the matrix in there. This is just gorgeous. I think this was like $6. So pretty. This was not on sale. It is a tiny, as you can see, itty bitty tiny citrine tower. It's going to go in the same cabinet as that because first of all, I would lose this. If I put this anywhere, I'm losing it. It is so tiny. So it's going to go in the curio cabinet where, I'm trying to get it to focus, where it can hang out with all the other cute little things. So curio cabinet, baby tower, officially the smallest tower I own. So then she had these baggies of chalcedony on special. So on camera right now, they probably don't look very impressive, but they are going to go in the same curio cabinet. I really hope. Nope, it's not. The sparkles aren't even going to show up for this light. I will see if I can insert videos. But chalcedony is really sparkly when you get it in the light, but it was a pack of 3 little chalcedonies. So hopefully I'll remember to insert a video of how sparkly they actually are. We have this raw piece of carnelian. This is insane. I ended up with this one. This was $4 or $6. My mom said that looks like the Grand Canyon, the side of the Grand Canyon, and she is not wrong. And then this one I really liked because it has like the pointy quartz formations on the top. But yeah, pretty freaking cool. So that was on sale. This also feels really cool. So love me some sale pieces. Where are we going? We have this itty bitty Lemurian from Colombia. It's also, in case you can't figure it out, it's going to go in the curio cabinet with all the other sparkly things, just because it's so tiny. Like, you could put this on a windowsill, but like, I'm not carrying this around. It's not going in my purse. And it's sparkly as well. Also tiny. So it's going in the curio cabinet. And speaking of Lemurian, okay, can't find it, so we will continue. We have a, oh my god, insane blue flash moonstone heart on sale as well. There we go. That's nuts. That blue flash is nuts. So, moonstone heart. We have I almost said an Aquarius cluster. So close. Amethyst cluster. It started with an A. I almost had it. Which has these little black speckle inclusions. It was also on sale, on special. She had a bunch of these. Really, really neat with the black specks. So there's that beauty. I think that'll go in the curio cabinet as well. Oh, this is a Christmas gift, so I'm not going to show this just in case. Can't show that one. Then I got this gorgeous rose quartz heart. Now, this was on special because it has a bit of a nip out of it. Right there, you can kind of see it. It is like, first of all, you can't even feel it. It's a little divot ever so slightly, but it's not sharp. It's not catching. It's the strangest thing. It does look like they tried to polish it out and then gave up on it, but I am a sucker for crystals that are damaged because nobody wants them. It always seems to be hearts. So a great example of this is this guy here. No one wanted it. It was on sale because it is, I mean, that's part of the crystal. It wasn't chipped. They just, I guess, decided to continue polishing it. Pre-night. That's what it is. So I have that one. I also have this one here that was on special, this Mookaite heart, but it has a polished chunk out of the side here. So I have that special little guy. And then from last month, there's this guy with that chunk. So I do have a soft spot for crystals that I feel like nobody wants because they're damaged. So yeah, that's that. Okay, second last item. This is the Lemurian I was looking for. So this is a semi-polished Lemurian crystal. These were a hot commodity. A lot of people really wanted these. This is good for putting in your purse. It's probably a Brazilian. Colombian Lemurians are, or sorry, it's probably a Colombian because the Brazilian Lemurians are insane. So I think this is a Colombian Lemurian, but this will be a good purse piece or pocket piece or bra piece of Lemurian. It's just really pretty, and it's also just satisfying to the eye. The shape of it is like perfect little point. And then the last piece, this piece was regular price. This is a diamond apophyllite cluster. This will probably go on a windowsill. I think it's, well, it's not too big for the curio cabinet, but with everything else I have in the curio cabinet, it won't fit. So it's also like kind of almost not weird enough for the curio cabinet. Like, I'm not saying the curio cabinet has only weird things in it, but there are a lot of weird things in it. And this one is just, it's just pretty. It is very sparkly, hence diamond apophyllite, but it's just, it's almost, it needs its own. I'm not putting that in a cabinet. Like, I'm putting it on a windowsill somewhere where I can see it and the light can hit it and it can shine and be pretty. So there we have it. There we have all my crystal babies from September 2025. So that first chunk of stuff was stuff that I paid for and bought in August, and then it just got delivered in the first week of September. But then this is stuff I did actually buy. So there's a Moonstone Moon. This is a little itty bitty piece of selenite. I mean, the cut is not great, but it has a purpose. And we have a Moonstone Tumble. I want to show you it's got like weird chevron shimmer in there. And then there's some pyrite in the back. Pretty cool. It has the same purpose as this. And then we have black moonstone. Whoa, that's weird. That is going to be the same purpose as these guys. So I will eventually talk about what I'm doing with those, but I'm just kind of gathering stuff in the meantime. So those are the small guys. Of course, we got some crystal drip. Also, so this is all from Equilibrio Gems. So let's look at our big stuff. We got another sphere. This is interesting. I actually have no idea what this is. The banding is really interesting. So there's that in that crystal drip. And then we have this point. That's cool. And then it looks like we have another tiger's eye star in this one. And then the rest will go in my crystal head, crystal skull vodka. So that's the big stuff in that one. This one, what do we have? A rose quartz piece. A rose quartz guy. I see another little malachite baby sphere, and looks like a hematoid quartz cluster. That's insane that that's in there. Absolutely insane. And we'll take out that little malachite heart and then our sphere, and then the rest will go in the crystal skull. This one's slightly bigger than the last one, I think. That's all the big things in there, I think. So that's it for the big things inside the crystal drip. What are we doing? Okay, we have these. So they're clear quartz points. As you can see, they are very clear. These are a special kind. They are Diamantina quartz. So they only come from one mine in the entire world, and it's just that they're super clear, very, very clear. So these were a wicked price compared to what, if you look up Diamantina, I think that's what they're called. I'll have to put it on the screen. I was 100% confident when I started filming, and now I'm questioning myself. But if you look it up on Etsy, they go for so much money. It's insane. Then we have this. It's called rose calcite. Typically, these pieces form in like a rose petal kind of look. This one doesn't. She only had one on her live that did that, and the rest were just kind of like these. But the reason I got it is because it is UV reactive, and it's going to go in my UV cabinet. So you can see it's going to UV bright orangey kind of coral color. So we have that piece for the UV cabinet. We have this super cool pink carnelian. These went like hotcakes on her live. It's more peachy in person. I'm kind of comparing how it looks on camera to how it is in my hands. It's definitely more peachy in my hands. That's more pink. The Druzy Pocket is more pink in person. So I'm going to do like a fall display kind of thing with that. And we're incorporating this. This is like an orangey pink amethyst. So in person, even this one is a little more orange on camera. It's a little more pink in person. I just think they're a really cute early fall display. Oh, yeah, I wish that pink would show up on there, but oh well. So those are going to become their own little display. Then I got a moss agate ring. I'm trying to get it to focus. How stunning is that? So she doesn't normally sell rings, but she had a bunch of rings on sale, and I love moss agate. So I got that ring. And then the other cool thing I got is this mystery apple. So we're going to open it together. I have not opened it. She was selling these as a bundle, and I don't know what's in it. So, is it taped shut? I don't think it is. Okay, we're okay. Oh my gosh, I'm reusing that paper for sure. Okay, what's in here? Okay, we have a lab heart. That's insane. Oh my gosh, that flash. What? So good. So we have a beautiful lab heart. Looks like a clear quartz. I think I see some phantoms in there. That's really cool. Love clear quartz. Oh my gosh, I just bought a black moonstone. That's so funny. This one, the shimmer is more sparkly than, like, this one has some sheen, whereas Schiller, I think that's called. This one is just sparklies. Oh, there's some Schiller. Hilarious. And then we have a gold sheen obsidian tower. Cool, cool, cool. So that's what came in our little apple. I love this paper. I am absolutely using it in my journal. So that's it. That is now officially the last of September's crystals. So I talked about what I was doing with the crystal drip baggies, but I figured I would show them. It's kind of easier to show them here if you have something to scale. So the Crystal Head vodka, I've shown these before. This is the little one. So I do put the chips in here. I have filled the little guy, and then I have a larger one. This was my dad's Crystal Head, Crystal Skull. No, Crystal Head. So here's a head for scale. This is how big it is. I thought it would be so much easier to fill this. It is taking forever to fill this up. Like, one little crystal drip baggie does nothing. So I can't tell you how many are in here. It's probably in the 20s, and that's all we have. That's as full as it is. But it's really cool. I'm really enjoying every time I get a crystal drip bag, I pour it in here. I don't know that I'll ever get it full. I might have to, like, actually buy some to top it up at some point, because I don't plan on buying crystals forever. And I haven't since the beginning of September. So those 2 orders came in at the beginning of September, and that's it. I don't have anything outstanding. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with those guys. Decks. So I'm not going to show any of the decks I worked with, because I am still working on my 47 decks in 47 days. This is just kind of a personal project that I'm working on. I want to make it through all 47, now 48, of my decks by the end of the year, and I wanted to do it every day in a row. So day 1, day 2, day 3, and it's a different tarot deck every day. So that's what I'm working on right now, and I finally made it into my fall deck section, because I kept all the fall ones to the very end because I knew it would be into October when I was finishing up the 47 decks in 47 days. So I'm so happy to be in my fall deck section. I'm loving using them. I did, however, have my first day where I forgot. I knew it would happen. It's okay. I figured it would happen more than once, if I'm being honest. So I knew there'd be a day where I forget, or maybe I was just feeling overwhelmed and didn't want to. This particular day, it just slipped my mind. And that's just where my head's at lately. So it probably will happen again. I'm at the tail end of it. I'm getting close to the end. So I don't have, I think I maybe have a week left, maybe 7 days, maybe not quite. I'm so close. I just need to make it through the next week of decks, and I'll be done my 48 days, 48 decks in 48 days. So that's what I'm working on. I don't want to show you all the decks because we don't have time to go through 47 decks, and probably no one wants to see me flipping through 47 decks. So that's what's happening in the deck department. There will be a video coming on this, on my experience in doing this, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Don't know when I'm going to get to film or edit it. Same with this video. No clue when I'm going to get to do that. So that's that. And even my moon tray. I haven't done October's moon tray yet. That's the first time that's happened where I forgot to do the moon tray before my video. So I'll have to do October's moon tray and insert it in here before I edit and upload the video. So I should get doing that. So that's it. That is September. I will leave you with the moon tray once I do that. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you when I see you. All right, I got my butt in gear and I'm working on the moon tray. So as a reminder, this is what September looks like. I did add a couple of the newbies in here, the stars. I think I'm taking one of the Tiger's Eye stars to work, but I did add some of the newbies in here from September's purchases. I love this moon tray. I just love the aesthetics of it. I feel like it is so warm and fall, and for that reason I kind of almost don't want to reset it. And I mean, I make my own rules. It's my moon tray. I don't have to reset it, but I am also kind of excited for October's, although it's super hot here right now. So I almost kind of feel like it's weird to do the theme that I'm gonna do, but oh well. So I'm going to reset this and you'll see what I have in mind. Okay, so here is October. So shocker, I went with a orange and black theme. So some are repeats from the last tray, which I don't love. I don't love that a lot of them have been used in the last couple of months, like the carnelians. I feel like they've really been used in the last couple of months, but we have a lot of black in here. So black tourmaline, black tourmaline, black tourmaline, and I think there's a black tourmaline tumble somewhere. We've got some shungite. We have, this is a black onyx probably. We've got some smoky. We do have a couple other smokies, but they were just a little too light for what I wanted. That's a smoky, a little baby piece of amber. We've got the golden healer. The two new spheres are in here. Carnelian, 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 carnelian. The petrified wood is still in here. My new, well, that's technically a black tourmaline as well. Tourmalated quartz. That's probably a black onyx. I think this is an obsidian moon. I love that there's a black moon in there. I also love that there's a red jasper snake, kind of incorporating like Halloween in here. Sardonyx. This would have been actually really pretty in September's. I don't know why I didn't think of it. It's like a brown, black, beige. The colorway works if it's turned upside down. But yeah, that's kind of where my head was at for October. I don't own a lot of orange, so I own a lot of red jasper, but it's just the red jasper is not quite the vibe. It's a little more red than orange, so it's not quite the vibe I was looking for the moon tray. But you know, if I find some little orange pieces, I think I have some tiny carnelian pieces somewhere, I can toss them in here as we go. Here's a carnelian mushroom. Let's put a carnelian mushroom in there. There, done. I did have this in here, but it wasn't the vibe. It wasn't working. I thought it would work again with the moon being like, well, that doesn't look bad, but then I'd have to find somewhere for all these. Again, the moon theme, you know, spooky season, but I just didn't love it when it was in there. So this is where we landed for October's moon tray. I miss you, September, but this is still pretty cool.